Welcome back to the Vera House podcast. Today's guest is Melissa Eaton of the Top Drawer RVA. She is a Richmond-based creator and social media strategist. She is the founder of the Top Drawer, where she documents and transforms unloved furniture into bold, textured works full of color and personality. What began as a creative outlet in her garage evolved into a thriving brand with an audience of over 300,000 people, all rooted in authentic process and transparent storytelling. As a social media coach under Simplify Social, Melissa helps artists, makers, and small business owners like herself cut through the noise and find clarity and momentum online. She bridges the world of creation and strategy, teaching others not just to make beautiful things, but to tell meaningful stories that build community and revenue. So welcome to the podcast, Melissa. Thanks so much for being here. I'm excited to chat with you.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here myself.
Well, thank you for being here, Melissa. I'm excited to chat with you. I know that we met each other, was that this year at the YouTube Creator Collective?
Not that long ago. I think it was in April or March, I believe, of this year.
And so for anybody who doesn't know, Melissa and I met at the YouTube Creator Collective, which here in Richmond, YouTube's never done anything like that before. It's just basically a creator collective to get people together, and that's where we met.
This was the first year that they did a nationwide event because they were celebrating 25 years on YouTube?
Something like that, yeah.
And so they picked major cities where they could get together and bring creators in. And I received an email through the, I guess it's the Creator Collaborative through YouTube. Are you in that as well?
Yeah, so I was invited into like the shorts community when that feature kind of first came out, and that's how I found out about it.
Yeah. So you get kind of involved in the back end with YouTube where they, give you different opportunities as a creator to either meet with people in person or do things behind the scenes. I was lucky enough to just do something with them for checking their back end for ad revenue because they're doing a lot of online shopping and affiliate linking. So that's my jam. I love to kind of get in behind the scenes. But yeah, that's where we met.
Yeah. I really enjoyed the event. I thought it was cool. I've never gone to an event quite like that, but was of course very grateful to meet you. And when I was there, it seemed like you had conversations with them previously because they kind of had you say a little something. Because you are one of the bigger creators in the like greater Richmond area.
Make me blush. I don't think so, but I'm going to tell you a little secret.
Sure.
Because I'm involved in that community on the back end with YouTube, they literally emailed me the night before at 6 p.m. and said the person we had set up to be I think they called them champion creator or something, had backed out or was ill. Somebody that they had set up for that job. And they sent me an email and said, would you be interested in doing this tomorrow? And I had an immediate panic attack because that's the great way to throw yourself in the deep end. But I said yes, because I feel like I need to try new things. And you read the big spec that they had. You get to meet people, talk to people, be a person to introduce others. And I went to it feeling very nervous, and it really was not that big of a deal at all. It was something that I would do anyways, which is talking to all of the people. So just connecting everybody together. Like I met you and I met somebody else that would have been a great match. And I was like, oh, you have to come over here and meet Myke.
Yeah.
But yeah, they had somebody call in sick. So it was a 24-hour whirlwind.
I thought you did a great job because even myself, I'm on camera all the time. I've spoken on stage. I've done all that. And even I go to those events and I'm like, I don't know anybody. I'm not going to say anything. And I just kind of sit in the background and I get nervous as well.
Yeah.
And I get like, I tend to overthink, and myself, I experience anxiety a little bit before, especially going to these in-person events and stuff. And it's a little bit uncomfortable because on the internet, it's like, oh, all these people, they kind of do the same thing as me, or they're creators, or they're trying to grow an audience.
Right.
So you would think, oh, I'm in a group of like-minded people, which is true, of course. But then you get there and it's like, oh, you just get nervous and it's like, oh, I don't want to talk to anybody. But you specifically introduced me to a group of people. And I think that's what led to a lot of the people there having a good experience. And I enjoyed it. I thought it was really cool. And I
had a great time as well. It was fun to kind of feel a little fancy pants because you have like great food, great drinks. You have a lot of people kind of merging together. And there was a lot of really exuberant, fantastic people. So even if you're on the shy side, somebody else is not going to be shy and they're going to pull you out of the shell. But it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. And I think that the nerves leading up to anything, even coming in here today is always the thing that like makes you, should I do this? What am I doing? Am I good enough? And then you go and you have a fantastic time. You're like, oh my gosh, I need to do this way more.
Yeah. And I'm sure it's going to be a recurring theme of what we talk about today is like, what's on the other side of being uncomfortable is a lot of the times worth it.
Yeah.
It just, it sucks to do it in the moment. It's not always fun to like push yourself to get out of your comfort zone, but I think it's worth it. And the world that we live in, you can make a living, we're going to talk about it a lot today, but you can make a living just being yourself and doing the things you like to do. It's hard and you got to put yourself out there and stick your neck out there. But if you commit to it and you don't care about what other people think and you just do it, it's worth it. And there's a lot of opportunities, you've already mentioned like affiliate linking and stuff like that. And so we'll talk about that. So hopefully as time goes on, we'll see more creator events like that. I know you even had sent me one.
I did. I'm being a pusher. I sent you an event coming up in a few weeks for Virginia bloggers, actually.
Yeah.
And I've only attended one previous event that they had. They had that out at a taco place in Willow Lawn. And it's just basically anybody who's a creator who is, I guess, kind of similar to what we do, but blogging, I think, was the base. A bunch of these people get together. And because the girl that hosts it is a food blogger, I'll get her info for you after. Maybe you can link her. She has this amazing setup with restaurants. They, again, give you wonderful food and drinks, and you get to sit down and talk to other creatives. And it's a great way to meet people in your community. Yeah,
it's very cool. And I wanted to make a point to actually talk about it today, because what we'll do is we'll link that event in the show notes for this episode. Because I would imagine we'll go and we'll see you there and see what it's all about.
And it's perfect for you guys to meet new people and kind of start the community where, hey, I need somebody who can help me with a podcast. Hey, I need somebody. I find that I'm always doing that. I think it's a natural tendency for me to connect the dots, connect the people. Oh, you need this? I know her. Oh, you need this? I know this person. Because I always feel like I work so much by myself. It's so nice to have that, to have people to connect and bring you together.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I'm not much of a connector, so that's why I'm grateful for people like yourself. So long before content creation and starting the Top Drawer, which is your brand, and I know that you're building Simplify Social, we'll talk about some of this stuff, but take us back a little bit. So prior to getting into this world, what was life like, and what made you decide to think about getting into the world of content creation and starting your own brand?
And starting my own brand. It's kind of very simple for me. I am a mom. I have 3 children. I have twin boys that are 26. It sounds very weird to say. Grown men, flowing, don't live here anymore. And my daughter, who is 10 years younger than them. So as a mom who wanted to stay home first, raise the kids first, and do all the things that I had to do, I always was like hustling to find the thing that I could make the extra money. Oh, hey, I want to buy a new camera. That means I need to find $500 or $600, and then I won't feel guilty for doing something that's for me. So furniture flipping kind of came into it probably about 12 years ago, I would say. I met a girl who was painting and flipping furniture and kind of learned a little bit from her. Found Cannon's Auction House here in Richmond, Virginia, which is a fantastic source for furniture, and started buying things, painting them, and selling them. So that was kind of like a great way for me to make extra money on the side while still staying home, taking care of my kids. I was doing modeling and acting here with Model Logic in Richmond, Virginia, and that was fantastic as well. But again, all of these things together, finding all the little things to make extra money kind of changed when my kid went to school. So when my daughter finally went to school, I was like, well, I need to either find a job, go back to nursing, because that's my base career, which I didn't really want to do. Nobody wants to work 12-hour shifts, nights and weekends. So the furniture thing was already happening. I met with somebody that owns a store in Richmond. I won't say any names, but I met and had a great meeting with him. He was looking for somebody to set up a boutique style furniture in his store. And I was already painting, and I'm like, oh, I'm super into decorating and staging. This would be a perfect match. The talk went well all the way to the end, where he told me the rate that he was willing to pay, which was hourly, plus working behind the cash register. And I said, no, thank you, not for me. And then I was like, there's got to be a better way. And I started delving into Instagram, which sounds like a silly thing, but if you're taking pictures of furniture and you're creating furniture, this is before video. This is Instagram like 2017. So I started taking great pictures of my stuff and built a little online community and started to see other people doing that, and then learned about content creation through painting furniture. Because there are paint companies that will sponsor you, or now it's called UGC, work as an independent contractor. So they would send you free paint. And I'm like, I want free stuff. That sounds fantastic. Because then that would cut my costs down as a painter and selling items. So I kind of moved into the Instagram world, and that blew up for me really fast. Because in 2017, people didn't just gain 5,000 followers overnight. You can do that all day long now with one reel. But back in the day, it took a while to get to that kind of plateau, and I achieved it very quickly. So then I became fast addiction to social media.
Yeah.
And it became through Dixie Belle that I became an independent contractor and a content creator and started earning an income online. And then it has morphed into 5 million different ways to make money online.
Yeah. Well, it's from afar, I don't know a ton about kind of the niche that you're in specifically with Top Drawer. So for anyone who's, has no clue about the world of furniture flipping and, you mentioned Dixie Belle and things like that. Can you just tell us a little bit about that whole world? So like, what does that mean when someone says, I flip furniture? Like, what does that look like? I'm
going to tell you right away, there's going to be people out there that are very angry that I'm saying flip furniture. But that's what it started out as for me. Get a piece of furniture for $5. I was making my own little chalk paint at home at the time, paint it and sell it on Facebook Marketplace. That's how it started for me. And I think that's how it starts probably for a lot of other people. But then what happened is when you're involved in something, and it could be anything. It could be tech. It could be furniture. It could be, mountain biking. You find a community online. And then that community online kind of gives you the direction in where you want to go. So I was seeing girls do live videos on Facebook. This was in the very beginning of people doing live videos. And number one, I was intrigued because they're painting and I paint. And then I see what they're doing and I'm like, well, how are they doing this? And they're probably not doing it for free, right? I mean, why does anybody do anything? You probably do it to earn money. And it was through affiliate marketing. So that opened up a little kind of light bulb moment. Well, I am doing this already. How come I'm not doing this and getting paid? So I watched, I studied, I checked out different creators. And in the paint world, lives were the thing back then. Now they're kind of dead in the water. Lives don't really go that far, but affiliate marketing is still there. So once you get involved with a paint company, there's a couple different ways they can pay you. Obviously, free product, UGC, in trade for content. But that, again, even has changed in the past 3 or 4 years. Dixie Belle itself is a woman-owned, US-owned company, and they had a massive cult-like following on social media. Because if you hashtag Dixie Belle and Dixie Belle shared your project, well, for somebody that just started furniture painting in Richmond, Virginia, that's a pretty big deal, right? People like to be recognized, like the little pat in the back, job well done, that's so pretty. But I always looked at it like, how can I take this a step further? And with Dixie Belle Paint Company, they had something called a brand ambassador. They've had as many as 13, and we've had as little as, 3 or 4. But it's a paid independent contractor position. And that's what was alluring for me. They would have seminars and host events for the retailers across America. And that's kind of what I wanted to do. I wanted to get out there, similar to the YouTube thing where I can get out there and connect the people dots. But the month that I was hired to be a brand ambassador was the month that COVID started. So it changed. It changed for me. The reason I wanted to do it was the people-y part. And then it changed all to affiliate marketing and how to really take a link that somebody would click, and then you would get a percentage of the sale from paint to obviously earn an income online. Yeah.
It's one, I think COVID changed a lot of people's lives and really got them into content creation. I could even say in a few weird ways that's even true for myself. I've been in marketing for a long time, but there was a huge shift like once that happened. And of course, everybody went online, and it almost forced society to discover that you can make a living doing a lot of this stuff.
From your phone, at home, in your pajamas.
Yeah.
So it was like a magical, perfect timing, because even though I went into it for the people, it opened up content creation in a whole other way.
Yeah.
Because around that same time, I don't know if you remember this. We're going to go back in the Instagram days. Do you remember IGTV?
Yeah.
Okay. So I am not really afraid to be on camera. I don't mind, doing things on camera. I think it just comes from my modeling, acting background. So to set up a tripod and document, not create, became the thing that kind of took it to the next level for me, because I started doing IGTV, which were these short, I believe they were 5 minutes and under, right? Vertical format, filming clips. And that was the thing that kind of opened the door, because video became huge during COVID. It was no longer about Instagram still photos. It started to merge into that. And then one day my son, who was in college, and said, "Hey, Mom, why aren't you on TikTok?" I'm like, "Ew, TikTok, that's for the children, not for 50-year-old ladies. Like, what are you talking about?" And he's like, "No, you should try it. Like, you might actually have a lot of fun." And TikTok exploded, which meant then brand collaborations with other companies, paid posting, collaborations. And it's just, the video thing never went away. And now it feels like rare to take a still photo and be that kind of content creator versus a video creator. So it's been a fantastic journey, a fantastic ride, and I've had a lot of fun.
So because I looked at all your social media, prior to chatting with you.
Mm-hmm.
And so one thing we haven't talked about yet is Facebook. Right? So you've got like a pretty big following on Facebook. I remember even when we spoke, you were talking about Facebook has payouts for creators.
That's the thing. I think people hear Facebook and they go, "Ew, that's for old people. Why are you on Facebook?" And I'm thinking, for the past 3 years, Facebook has paid me a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the difference between me and some other people when it comes to social media. A normal person would look at social media and maybe utilize it in a couple different ways. And I look at it and go, what's like the max that I can take this to? What's happening? What's the newest thing? What training can I do to kind of find the thing that's going to make my ROI happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Facebook about 3 years ago started doing ads on videos, and they didn't tell anybody. It was kind of sneaky. They just kind of put them on there. But you had to accept your monetization. And I think a lot of big creators didn't know at the time that they had to kind of go in on the back end in MetaSuite, accept the monetization, because you reach these little levels, right? And then once you accept them, you're getting paid through ad revenue. Similar to YouTube, an ad runs, well, somebody watches a 3-minute video, you earn an income online. So I started doing that 3 years ago and kind of jumped the gun a little bit. It's slowed. Facebook has actually lowered the requirements for monetization. I believe right now you only have to have 500 followers and a certain amount of hours watched, video hours watched. But that was a great thing, because nobody knew that Facebook was paying, it could pay your mortgage.
Yeah.
It could pay your rent. And they weren't seeing that.
It's, Facebook is sort of slept on in a way. A lot of people use Facebook groups very
Mm-hmm.
heavily. A lot of people still use Facebook and use the newsfeed features and just scroll through reels and videos and stuff
Sure.
all the time. So it's very much still a valid platform, but I do know that it, as a creator, you can make an income on it, which is pretty cool.
You can make an income and you can grow a following very fast on Facebook, because Facebook only shows the content that you're creating. What's the stat? 2% of your followers are seeing what you're posting online. So the people that are seeing and the people that are watching are the non-followers. And then they're coming over and they're becoming followers. And when you have a viral video, the growth rate is really fast. I actually saw the other day, I had a little Facebook reminder pop up. I think the post was, I think it was like 10 people away from hitting 10,000 followers. And that was less than 3 years ago. And right now I think I stopped looking. I think I'm at like 130K maybe.
Yep.
Which is fantastic. I mean, numbers are vanity numbers. Numbers really don't matter at the end of the day, but those numbers equal money,
Mm-hmm.
And if you're doing it for the money, then it's great to build quickly.
Yeah.
But I think Facebook is really trying to be in competition. Everybody wants to be TikTok, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're trying to bring creators over. I do think it's a harder hustle than it used to be. It used to be easier to make those, big numbers in money on Facebook. And now it's like you kind of have to hit those million views a little bit more often, but it's totally achievable. Like I feel like on Facebook, I'm like 1 million views. Sure. No problem. Where on YouTube, it's like you're pulling teeth to get high views like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So today, right? So you've built this audience, especially for the top drawer.
Right.
You're documenting your process of refinishing, rehabbing, flipping furniture, right? And you're taking maybe beat up furniture that somebody would think was trash, maybe throw it away, and you're giving it a second life and not only sharing the journey and the process of creating it with the world, but then eventually flipping it as well, right? To sell the end product.
Yep. Multiple streams of revenue is where it's at the end of the day. You can't go into anything, especially with content creation, and think this one thing's going to make me a millionaire. That one thing is most definitely not going to be it. It's going to be 10 things put together to, get where you want to be. And there is no real stability because we don't own these platforms, right? I don't own Facebook. Facebook could lock me out tomorrow and then I lose that money. So you kind of need to know that you need to be omnipresent across the board. But there are things that are going to work and there are tips and tricks that are going to make you money. And in my Coaching for Creatives group, that's what I'm there for. Because if a creator comes to me and says, I'm doing XYZ, why am I not seeing this? Well, let's sit together. Let's have a one-on-one. Let's, let me look and do a little bit of an audit to see where you're at. And if this is your goal to make an income online, then this is what you have to do. And sometimes that's hard news to hear because they think it's going to be a lot easier, but it's work. Everything is work. There's always going to be work behind it.
Yeah.
But definitely documenting, not creating, and making something either educational, entertaining, or, something that somebody wants to watch. Anger inducing. Painting wood seems to get people super fired up, especially on Facebook. I mean, you have to have a tough skin. They're going to tell you you're a terrible person for painting a dresser.
Yep.
I mean, if that's sure, all interactions are good interactions, especially on Facebook, because then it boosts that post back up to the top of the page. So,
everything we see on social media is something that people have differing opinions about.
Of course.
Right? And many times in a positive way, right? If you think about furniture, it's personal opinion of what we think aesthetically looks good or doesn't look good. And, some people are going to like one thing, other people are going to like something different. And that, of course, works on social media because then you have, the battle of opinions in the comments, and it works. It happens with a lot of the different clips we talk about on this show.
And that's the thing. It's not about. I mean, I went into it painting pretty furniture, and that was my passion, and I felt like an artist, and I was doing all these things. I've flipped the switch to you almost have to quit giving a damn. You just honestly have to care about the content you're making versus like, am I going to make anybody angry? Am I doing this? Who am I trying to impress in the furniture world? You literally have to care less at the end of every single day in order to do this repetitively online. Because if you get too wrapped up in the whole, what is this person going to say? Or what is this going to, you just can't. It's a job. It's a business. And this is my business. Content creation is the business.
Yeah. So speaking of which, when did you realize that it wasn't a hobby anymore? I know obviously in the beginning it grew, fairly quickly, or maybe you recognized that there was a lot of potential fairly early on. But was there a moment that you think of where you realized, okay, I'm going to go all in on this?
Yeah, most definitely. And the minute probably, again, comes down to money. When I can look at the fact that I'm sitting at home playing on my phone, technically, I'm enjoying it. So I am playing on the phone, creating an income online that's earning me more than I ever made as a nurse, working 12-hour shifts, working weekends, with a degree. Well, then that's a real job. Somebody can come up and say, hi, nice to meet you. What do you do for a living? I'm like, well, technically I made up a job online and I'm making money from it. So, I like to say it's building a brand online. Yes, the Top Drawer RVA is a thing, right? It's the thing that's my base, but it has morphed into so many different things. And some people have sports that they love. You have mountain biking that you love. I actually really get a kick out of cracking the code on social media for what works the best, the fastest, and it's going to earn you the most money online.
And that's a transition you've been making, right? Or not even a transition, but something you've been starting to offer, right?
Yep.
So tell us a little bit about that. So what is Simplify Social? How have you been navigating the addition of, coach and strategist to running your current brand?
Okay, so building a brand online is something we know it's not easy to do. We know that sometimes, you need to figure out the hacks. And if you had a coach, somebody could help you along the way, it really makes the job easier. A lot of the girls in kind of the furniture painting biz online set up painting groups. Oh, come join my class, pay this much money, I'll teach you how to do this. I legit do it all for free online every single day. Every moment of painting that I do is documented somewhere for free. So that did not really work for me in thinking I should set up a creative group for painting. Being a brand ambassador allowed me to get into certain training, and that's how I met Emily, who I've connected with you, where we were able to get training behind the scenes on how to build our brand, how to work social media, which also kind of morphed into beta testing for companies like Google or Pinterest, or even YouTube. So all of this knowledge sitting there that I love people, I love to talk, I love to help. And if I was getting those questions on the daily, how did you do this? How could I do this? I've created a monthly subscription group on Facebook. It's a private coaching for creatives group. I mean, it's not just for creatives. I've had the air conditioning guy that put my air conditioner in came and joined and learned how to promote his small business. I think what happened was it was just a simple transition from me taking all that knowledge and having great success to how can I help other people do this as well? And that little baby group on Facebook has been open now for 5 years. And I've had hundreds of people come and go throughout the 5 years. And this year I've just kind of decided to really go all in on coaching, do a little bit more one-on-one kind of office hours coaching, as well as my next step will be to be more localized. I'm starting working with small businesses to, build their brand online, going into Cannon's auctions a couple weeks ago and speaking with them. And they're like, oh, what are you doing? Because I'm walking around filming everything with my camera. I'm like, don't worry about me. I'm fine. And then introducing myself to then now submitting them a brand proposal to come in and create their TikToks for them, to show them how you can reach a wider audience and build your small business online as well.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So with your coaching, so you have your community, you have your group, and then it sounds like you're also working like on site potentially for other brands.
That's the goal. That is the kick in the pants that I need this year. Not that I don't love painting, but everything changes and you need to grow and kind of expand yourself. And I cannot sit on the floor and paint furniture forever. I can't. And the furniture world has changed as well. I mean, 5 years ago, you could sell $4,000 a month of used furniture on Facebook easy. Now that's a hustle. That's a grind that people are going to struggle to achieve. I do have a booth for some of my items at the Lazy Daisy here in Shore Pump, Richmond, Virginia. And I do donate quite a few of my items with local charities. Better Together, the Remix Market on Ashland. Sometimes they send me pieces. I paint them. I bring them back and they auction them off for their cause. So I can understand how furniture painting is still fun and lucrative, but I like a little bit more of this, of the excitement of this.
It is. I mean, and I'm sure doing both I'm sure it's busy and chaotic, but I'm sure there's a lot of fulfillment that comes out of both. So with everything that you've built with the top drawer, I mean, that's still full steam ahead, right? It's
still happening because for me at this point, if I stop filming tomorrow, my content bank is so massive that I could continue to push through, create content, chop up old content, make new content, and still get paid for what I'm doing. I think people don't realize how valuable having a content bank is, especially when it comes to building a brand on social media, because you can just achieve those goals. If I wanted to take a month off tomorrow, I could, and still have enough content to feed the beast of social media and earn an income online.
I think people underestimate the okayness of like repurposing content and reposting videos and stuff. You must.
I actually tell my clients that every 3 months, you can repurpose every single thing that you're doing. If you want to change it by adding a voiceover, maybe you want to chop it up and put it in a different format. Formats on social media change all the time as well. I mean, 3 years ago on Facebook, square format for video, that was the thing.
Yeah.
Where are you using square format video anywhere else right now? Nowhere.
Yeah.
But you can take that square format, find an editing app that works for you. Like you might use Edits, you might use InShot. That square format then gives you a space above. What can you do with that closed space? Closed captioning. All of a sudden you've got words on your screen along with your video that's old content that now becomes new content, which what's the percentage of people that watch on mute, on silent? It's very high.
It's a lot. Yeah. It's like over 70%.
Yeah. If you don't have closed captioning on your work right now for any short video, you're missing out.
Yeah.
So old content in square format doesn't work. Fix it up, edit it, add in a voiceover with closed captioning, and you've got a brand new video. Doesn't matter if it's from 3 years ago, if it's still relevant information.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, I mean, there's so many different formats and there's different ways to repurpose. And maybe you saw even just within the past couple of weeks, people posting videos of like the really like short, skinny format. Did you see that?
I don't like, you know what? I don't like it only because it's going to be irrelevant guaranteed in a year from now.
Yeah.
And nobody's ever going to use that particular format again. But yes, I have seen that. Instagram likes to shake it up, don't they?
Yeah. And I think the reason people are doing it is because people don't like it, you know?
And it's new.
Yeah.
I mean, that's if anything is new on the app that you're using in social media, that is the thing you should be doing because that's the thing that's going to get the most traction at that time.
Yeah. So what are some of the maybe challenges, you know, along the way, right? So in your journey so far as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, as a coach, as a content creator, are there any moments that you look back and think on and think, that was really difficult to get through?
I mean, I think that there's always going to be scandals online, right? There's always going to be something that happens online that you're uncomfortable with, whether it be a company you're working with as an independent contractor or somebody you did work with that has now gone off the rails and they're somehow still connected to you because of that online community. Honestly, I think the advice that I would give is that you just have to care less. Everything seems crazy at the time, you know, in that 24-hour span where something is blowing up or somebody's PR has gone wild. They're going to forget. People will forget. And to be honest, the internet is technically just a pretend place that we're all living in. So these are not people that you're going to see on the street. Nobody would ever come up to you in Carytown and tell you these horrible things in real life that they might say in a comment or a video or a clapback. So I think being involved with companies as an independent contractor is always going to be hard when scandals happen to companies because you're still attached, even if you're not. You just work for them. You're not that company. But if you're working as a brand ambassador and you're the face of that company and people know your name with that company's name pretty much in the same sentence all the time, you do have to develop some really thick skin to say, screw it. It does not matter. At the end of the day, it doesn't affect you.
Yeah. And so I guess maybe that speaks to pressure that you felt or things that have happened in your journey where, you know, it's negative comments or maybe something happening with a brand partner or something. So
what happens, I think also it's a lot of women. I mean, I'm a woman. I love women. But when you put a lot of women in a group together, there's going to be drama. There's always going to be drama. And when you then put competing women that are all trying to kind of do the same thing, it becomes a little bit more of a challenge. And I think it's just time to step back and go, yeah, these, again, they might be real people in real life, but they're not in my real life. They're not in my everyday personal life and just care less. I think it's important to really separate yourself from that drama, if that makes sense, because there's always going to be drama in every single thing that everybody does. And you just have to know that time heals all. Yeah. Don't let it take up some negative headspace and move along. Keep your eyes on the prize. Absolutely. And obviously I can't speak for women, but I think especially as a woman business owner, I would imagine that, and this is true for everybody, but I think especially like in a group of women where you could maybe see yourself in others, right? Maybe you see, somebody who reminds you of yourself,
where you say, wow, this woman's doing this thing and this is amazing, and I wish I could do something like that. That would be the positive way to react, right? And take
Sure.
like aspiration and influence and inspiration from that person and say, oh, I want to maybe work on something similar. Or you could have the opposite effect, which is like resentment and say,
Jealousy.
oh, that's easy. I
Yeah.
could do that. And, who does she think she is, and whatever. And again, this happens for, everybody and people of all different types and creators of all different types. But I could definitely see how that could happen, in a group of women, or, because jealousy is real and resentment is real. And I think when it comes to social media, it's easy to look at it and say, oh, anybody could do that, and try to like dismiss the amount of effort that it takes to be a full-time creator.
Right.
Or to even if you took like creator out of it and just talk about making money online. That's how I got into this world. I was a bartender for a long time, and I thought, there's got to be something different that I was fired from like every job I ever had. And, I met some friends, and they kind of opened my world up to making money online. And I was like, oh, well, how do you do that? Like, I'm just going to do that then.
Right. And finding the ways, like those multiple streams of revenue. It's like we said before, it's not just one thing. There's
Right.
so many different things. But I mean, at the end of the day, a job is a job is a job, right? That's what this is. This is a job. This is earning me money. Sure, it's fun. Sure, it's exciting sometimes. You meet great people. But it is a lot of hands in the pot when you're working as an independent contractor with other companies, and they're bringing groups of people together. I think you're right. A lot of it is competition between other people, but the online world and the online space and always is about how perfect is this? That looks so great. It's a bunch of baloney. It's just whatever anybody's doing at the end of the day to get them through the day. But yeah.
We're all just winging it.
Just stay on your own path.
Yep.
Keep your eyes on the prize. I always thought that it would be such an exciting job. And then once you get into it and you start doing it, you're like, it's just like, it's a job. A job is a job is a job.
And I've found that it actually works better if you just treat it like a job.
I agree.
It can be very distracting to like overthink and try to perfect everything.
Yeah.
And yes, it is a creative endeavor. And yes, it involves art. And yes, it involves, an artistic vision and aesthetics and colors and fonts and all that stuff. But those things can also often be a distraction from doing the work that you need to do in order to like do your job.
Sure.
I know that it's been a distraction for me, and it's easy to like find it, a way to just procrastinate by figuring out what else you can do when it comes to content and stuff like that.
And always changing. I mean, the whole platform, the whole scope of all of everything online is ever changing. It's moving every day.
Yeah.
So as soon as you get comfortable, something's going to come along and kick you out of that comfort zone, because you have to change it. You have to be adaptable. You have to find the ways that will work for you, but you have to know that it's ever changing. Don't get too comfy.
Yeah. So let's talk about some of the ways, like, yes, it's always changing, but I know there's many ways that creators make income that are kind of fundamental, right? So we talked about monetization. So meaning the platforms themselves are paying you based on video views, right?
Yeah. Yeah. There's again, multiple streams of revenue is the only way that this is going to work. Because if your goal is to monetize every single platform, that's fantastic. You can do that, but it's going to change tomorrow.
Yeah.
And maybe the monetization will change. Maybe they're going to change how they pay you. I mean, look at TikTok, look at Facebook. They have changed the monetization all the time. I mean, Instagram doesn't even pay anymore. Nothing, pennies. I think you need to look at kind of a broader scope of things. So one piece of furniture, and I'll base it on what I'm doing. Here's my piece of furniture. I'm going to film my content, and I'm going to paint this thing. I've created the content, which will allow me to monetize my things online, right? So all my social media is monetized, unless they're just not paying. But then you also have something called affiliate marketing, which you know about, where you earn a percentage of the sale. And I think people have to be a little bit more brave with getting out there and contacting these companies, because companies want you to promote their work. They want you to promote the thing, the paint, the item, whatever it is. And if they're going to give you an affiliate percentage of the sale, you're going to take that to a whole nother level. You're going to work harder. They're going to, in turn pay you, and you're going to get a better kind of grasp on that. So it's the project, the affiliate marketing, the content. I also then sell that piece of furniture. So I'll make money in that little area as well. And I also have the ability to help the store that I'm at and do their social media marketing with them. So there's another thing. It's not just one thing. It's many, many, many things.
And you also mentioned UGC.
UGC.
Could you talk about that a little bit?
UGC, as much as I love it, it's equally the thing that has changed the scope of social media in the past few years. I could see it sneaking up for a long time. UGC is user-generated content. Basically, what you're seeing on TikTok, right? Somebody's trying to sell you something because they have a product in the video. They could link the product and earn a percentage of the sale, or they might have got that product for free. So they're going to promote it because they got it for free. I think what UGC has done has taken paid content creators down a couple notches, if that makes sense. Because I used to be able to, or I should say people should be able to earn an income from the thing that they're doing because the company's paying you. And now I think there's a lot more people out there trying to hustle, and they're doing it for free product or they're doing it for free. I'm the fan of paid UGC. I don't mind that at all. There's things that I do with companies. I did one recently with RotoRazor. Ever had a RotoRazor?
No.
Oh, it's so cool. I actually might be getting another one. I can give you one.
Yeah.
It's a handheld tool with a circular saw on the end. So you push the button and it's basically going to, instead of setting up your whole saw, you can just chop something in half.
Oh, wow.
Which, I mean, I love the DIY aspect of that.
Yeah.
But, so RotoRazor approached me about doing a brand collaboration. They said, hi, we're looking for user-generated content. We'd love to send you a saw. I said, that's fantastic, but I don't work for free. I'm happy to provide you with my, portfolio. Would you maybe need my media kit? Here's my rate sheet. And they came back with a number and they said, well, how about we give you the saw? We'll pay you X amount of dollars. You don't have to post any of it on your pages. And we will use it obviously for their back end and advertising. And the number was great. And I was like, well, that's perfect. There's nothing wrong with coming back to a company if they come at you first with the freebie to say, actually, this is where I'm at. And then that company actually reached back out to me last week to do another demo. So they will be paying me to actually compare their saw with their competitor's saw. And they're going to send me the competitor's saw. Maybe you'd like that one.
Yeah.
I'll send it over.
We'll see.
We'll see. So I'm going to have two saws and I'm basically going to shoot video and send it back to the company and they're going to pay me. Plus I get another saw and I don't even have to post it on my page. So user-generated content is a big part of social media right now. The stinky part of it is that I think a lot of people are working for free or free product, which I'm not. That for me in my journey, that's not where I'm at. But I understand that some people are at that level.
I see what you mean, because in theory, anybody could make UGC content even if they don't have a big audience. So it almost like dilutes the value of someone with a big audience.
Exactly.
Especially if the brand is only using, the video or whatever. So how do you balance like giving away free value, right? You've done this for a long time. You've had like a pretty awesome experience from my perspective because you got into this before COVID.
Right.
So you've seen a lot of the ways that content has evolved over time. You've seen how the monetization and the ability to earn income has changed for creators over time. And you have a lot of value to share. And as you mentioned, people can, go look at your videos and see how you approach doing furniture and stuff. So I guess throughout the years, how have you thought about what you are willing to give away for free versus what you decide to offer through like paid offers and paid help and stuff like that? Sure.
I think it's something I also talk to, the creatives in my group about. If you are getting approached the question every day, if somebody's messaging you, emailing you, asking the same thing over and over and over again, then that's an opportunity to create something where you have an expertise that they need. So for me, with coaching for creatives or, Simplify Social or even the one-on-one office hours, I have something that you need, right? Provide a service, provide value, hopefully make it easier for them to achieve whatever it is that they're approaching you about. So I've created a small Instagram page. I say small because I just started it a couple months ago, along with, talking a little bit about it in my own top drawer RVA world, because I am trying to base what I do on creatives. I have a lot of artists in my group. I have a lot of small business owners. And I think that the crowd that follows me in the top drawer RVA field are the same crowd that will come over to the coaching the coaching field. The dynamic is different, but still the same. So if you can offer a service and people trust you and love you and you've built this beautiful community, then they're going to come and hopefully join the group. So the hardest part about it is not sounding spammy, right? Not being the salesman, you have to get over that whole fear of I sound repetitive. I'm speaking into the void. Maybe I only have 100 people on this page. And why am I doing this? Well, that whole imposter syndrome sets in. And then you think, should I be doing it? Well, yes, you should, because people are still asking. If the opportunity is there, you have to take advantage of the opportunity.
Yeah. And I think, I'm sure maybe you would agree, but most people that struggle with imposter syndrome, we all experience it. They're often the people that have the most experience in a lot of things. You know, the people who don't have imposter syndrome are often the ones that don't actually know as much about a certain topic,
right?
Which is why they don't second guess themselves. It's like a very common phenomena, you know? So I think, you know, for most people, when you put yourself out there, you're going to experience that at some point in your journey. And yeah, especially for anybody that like sales doesn't come natural to, you're going to feel uncomfortable, like pushing your product or your service or, you know, but at the end of the day, I completely agree with you. It's like you're solving a problem for someone. That's all you're doing.
And it is sales because you have something that somebody has to pay you money for, right? I know that coaching sometimes can be looked at it like, why do I need a coach? Or that, you know, what kind of coach is, well, how are you going to help me? If I had somebody to guide me, hold my hand, and tell me the ways to do this faster at the beginning of my journey, could you imagine how much further you would be along in it? I think people need to look at it a little bit differently. I think coaching maybe might not be the right word to call it sometimes. I like to call it building a brand online. I will help you learn how to build a brand online. It's also difficult with artists because they're creatives and they don't put themselves in the business aspect as much. But if they are doing it here, why not do it and get paid? And if I can connect the dots and make you money, then that money is well spent.
Yeah. So why do you think people should build a brand online? Like, what are some of the conversations that you have with people who are interested in this? You know, do you ever come across someone where it's like, maybe this isn't going to work for you, maybe this isn't for you? Or, you know, what do you think is the case for why somebody should start building a brand online?
Because if you're doing it already, why not do it and get paid? I really think people need to understand that I, at 50 years old, can sit at home on my phone and make more money than I ever made in a nursing career with a degree. I am able to set my own schedule. I can pay for my child's education. I put my son through college at Virginia Tech. He came out debt-free. I am at home if my daughter calls me and she's sick. So why not make your own life happen and plan it the way that you want it versus maybe working as a nurse at the hospital or something else? If I can do it, anybody can do it. That's the whole thing. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, I guess, I mean, you said it best. It is pretty, I don't know, we live in a wild time where you really can do a lot with just a phone.
Yep.
You know, it's nuts. And I think about how much you juggle and how much you do. Like, do you ever get burnt out? Do you ever like
yesterday surfing TikTok for 6 hours? No, I have no idea what you're talking about. No, you know what? I think at the end of the day, it comes down to how hard do you want to work. This is not easy. I might have days where my phone is like burnt up because I've been on the phone for 8 hours creating content, but it equals out when I want to take my family on a trip to Aruba and check out for 7 days. And I can do that because I am my own boss and I make the rules. So you need to really kind of open it up to opportunities. I had an interesting conversation with somebody last week in the group about, are you not hashtagging or tagging your location in your videos? I have had 2 very big brand collaborations come through in the last 6 months only because I tag Richmond, Virginia as my location. One is right now currently running with Dominion Power. I don't know if you've seen it on my Instagram. If you are, go follow it, like it, love it. Dominion Power reached out to creators on the East Coast. I would have never gotten that job if I didn't have my email in my bio and have been linking my location in my posts. Something as simple as that can get you a brand collaboration that's, you know, worth a lot of money. So instead of looking at it like, oh, this is a hobby, Okay, that's a hobby. You're allowed to have a hobby. But if you're doing it, just do it more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just do it more. And simple things like that. Like maybe you didn't know that tagging your location could get you brand collaborations. Maybe you didn't know that having your email in the bio is super important. But if I tell you and give you all the handy dandy tips, then you'll be making money.
Yep. I always add a location, even my stories. I post a story and like sometimes I'll have my phone and I'll be with somebody, they'll be next to me and I'm like swiping off to the right and they're like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm basically tagging the location and then I take it and I swipe it off the screen so that it's hidden. So it's not like on my story. And then that way that story still shows up in that location. So yeah, maybe that's a little secret for somebody to implement for themselves as well.
It's smart marketing. It's smart marketing because if you open up TikTok, if somebody says to me, honey, I want to go away for the weekend, look at this place. I'm not going to go to TripAdvisor. I'm not going to go to Google. I'm probably going to TikTok and I'm going to type in that hotel location or that, whatever resort, because I want to see the most up-to-date real life UGC creations that people are making. You're going to get a better spectrum, a better review on what's going on out there from social media than you will from paid marketing any day.
I just spent this past weekend in Brooklyn and I used AI. So I used Google Gemini and I used Instagram to plan my whole trip.
Yep.
Not, and yes, Gemini is a Google tool, but I didn't use like typical Google search to plan my trip. I used AI and I used Instagram. And I do think, as time goes on, more and more people are doing that exact same thing.
Sure.
So speaking of things like AI, are there any AI tools that you use or that you like with any of your, posting or scheduling or batch?
Gemini as well. Okay. I'm a big Gemini user because it's easy and it's free, right? And it's simple. It's not too in-depth. I use it for blogging. I'm not a great writer. I'm not. So if you're into affiliate marketing, you really do need to be blogging or hosting some sort of platform where people can actually access the thing that you're selling. It's important, especially when you're linking to Pinterest. I know I've talked to you about Pinterest before. Pinterest likes a website. So for me to create a blog, it's much more of a simple activity to sit down on my computer and use Google Gemini to write my blog than it is for me to sit down and hash it out. I mean, I'll write a generic base, but then I'll pop it in and say, please make this sound 10 times better. And it will spit it back out for me. It just makes your job faster, I think. And the same thing goes for YouTube, for titles, for descriptions. I think that everybody should be treating your social media descriptions in Instagram, in Facebook. I know you don't have a lot of space in your description on YouTube for shorts, but fill in the blanks. Everything should be a mini blog right now because of SEO, search engine optimization. You're going to get found much better from being indexed on Google, and TikTok is indexed by Google. Everybody's indexed by Google now. Take advantage of that space. And if you're not a writer, use AI to do the job for you. Prompt it, obviously, make it your own, modify it. But it's going to change your social media game. Yeah.
So AI is basically like your proofreader and editor a little bit.
My assistant, yes. Yeah. I used to actually have an editor that would help me write my blogs. I paid somebody to, I would just word dump and she would fix it and make it much better and pretty. But now you don't have to pay anybody. Yeah. Google Gemini can do that for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and it frees people up to do things that are more high value work. So you mentioned your website. So where can people find all your stuff, right? So for Simplify Social, where can people find you?
So everything basically is linked on my website. So I am Melissa at the Top Drawer RVA. RVA is obviously Richmond, Virginia area. People always ask, what is RVA? But it makes it local. So if you go to, obviously, the Top Drawer RVA, you will find me #1 across every social media platform at the same name. And my website has all of the information right there on the homepage where you can find out about one-on-one coaching for creatives through my Facebook group. You can buy paint if you want to, or you could just look at pretty pictures of painted things. I think DIY is a really fantastic niche to be in because you're never going to run out of ideas. The name of the game with content is like feeding the beast, right? What can you document and create today? You're never going to run out of ideas with painting and DIY, or even going to the thrift store to find your DIY. So yeah, it's a great niche to be in.
I would definitely agree. And you mentioned, we talked a lot about treating it like a job, right? So it's like, if you're going to do it, it's not a hobby. Like, it's something to take serious. You can make a living with it, an income with it, but it's a lot of work and you got to take it seriously, right?
Yep, it is. But there's also a lot of opportunity. It's only going to get better, and it's only going to get, more reach online with reaching out for creators. You might not have 130 followers on Facebook, but that doesn't matter anymore. Follower numbers at this point, I think, are really nothing. I don't think anybody should look at follower numbers. Yes, it's great if you can reach a number and get monetized. But there are micro creators, there are micro influencers. There's companies out there that are looking for people that are maybe a furniture DIY niche, and they're going to pay you money to do what you're already doing. So I think just kind of buckling down, creating your niche and looking at it like a job, and then learning how to market yourself, build a brand online, and get sponsorships and opportunities. It's just another way to make it work.
Yeah. And so everybody can connect with you at thetopdrawerrva.com.
That's correct.
And that has everything listed for your furniture brand and also for your coaching.
Yep. Because, jack of all trades, a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
You're going to see puppy dogs. You might see a little bit of my family life, but that's part of it too. People get to know you on social media, and that's how they're going to love you and like you. And in marketing, that's the name of the game.
Yeah.
If they like you, they will buy from you at the end of the day.
And so what's like the one thing coming up that you're most excited about?
I have, and this sounds so silly, but a collaboration with my local Goodwill.
Oh, really?
So obviously painting and DIY, you have to find the things that you're doing. And I've really morphed my kind of YouTube into a little bit of thrifting plus a little bit of DIY. People love to go shopping with me. And it's as simple as taking my camera to the Goodwill. Maybe today I'm going to show you all the weird and ugly at Goodwill. Maybe today is a fantastic day and I found something that's worth like $5,000. But Goodwill reached out to me for a local brand collaboration. So I'm going to be paid to go thrifting. So like I said, if you're doing it, why not do it and get paid? That's pretty exciting.
That is very exciting. This is very cool. I'm quite jealous.
I love the Goodwill.
Same. I love like thrifting and vintage clothes and finding like cool little quirky, weird pieces of furniture and stuff. And that's very, very exciting. Well, speaking of Goodwill, you brought a gift to the show, which
I did.
We really, really appreciate. And thank you so much.
I would have brought two, but you can share.
We will absolutely share. So let me set this. And yeah, thank you for this. This is wonderful.
I have to introduce you into the world of Dixie Belle paint.
Yeah, I love it. So for anybody who's listening on audio, I'm opening a gift from Melissa, and she's brought some Dixie Belle paint. And so this is kind of your main like brand partnership, because I know that you've done a lot with them for quite a while, right?
Right. So I've been working with Dixie Belle for almost 7 years, and as a brand ambassador, full-time, locked into a contract with them now for, since COVID. How long has that been? 5 years?
It's crazy to think that, isn't it? But it has been. Yeah.
So as an independent contractor, it's always fantastic to find a company that will pay you every month to help them with their social media. Obviously, creating their YouTube videos, working as a brand ambassador also involves being involved in the community, because they have independent retailers. That candle actually is not from Dixie Belle, and I'm going to throw a little plug in there. That's my friend Rachel. She is from Canada, where I am from, and she has just started this candle company that's all hand poured, and I thought you might enjoy that as well.
I love this. So it's a cashmere and white tea candle from Arthur and Macaulay.
Yes, and she is based in Canada, but she does ship.
That's amazing. Well, I love a good candle. I love a good bubble bath.
Well, that's a Scrubby Soap. Scrubby Soap is actually new. Dixie Belle recently acquired that company. It is a soap that has a sponge in it. So it is great for, like getting paint off of your fingernails, getting it out of the paintbrush. They now have this bath and body line, which is fantastic. Scrubby Soap was actually invented for fishermen in Florida to help get fishy, stinky smells off their fingers.
Yeah. I've never seen anything like this. It's pretty
fun,
cool.
And it smells great too.
Yeah, it's basically a soap bar. So this is goat milk. Yeah, goat milk soap. But it has like a sponge on the top of it. That's very cool.
So the sponge goes in the container, and then they hand pour the soap in. So when it congeals and hardens, it makes an actual soap bar.
Very, very cool.
Yeah, so I brought you some paint. You can give it a try. Dixie Belle has 3 lines of paint for different projects, but it's as simple as cleaning, like you have a little side table right here. Clean it up. You could paint it with 2 even coats of paint and you'd be good to go. And look, I picked colors that match your studio.
You sure did. And, this whole building that we're in is, it's new to us. it's our humble beginnings. We've, had to do a lot of work when it comes to paint and getting it cleaned up, getting it presentable, getting it ready. And this will definitely go to good use. So thank you so much for this.
Enjoy.
It was very sweet of you, and really appreciate it.
Anytime.
Well, it's been awesome to have you here.
Thank you.
I can't tell you how much it's been great to meet other people in this area. On this show, we talk a lot about the development of Richmond and obviously the surrounding areas as well. We've talked about Short Pump and Henrico and all this other stuff, but we spend a lot of time talking about Richmond and this area and brands and the way that this place is evolving and growing and changing over time. And I think as the creator community continues to grow here, that having these types of conversations and talking about the struggles and different strategies is helpful for people.
I agree.
And so having you here is obviously a big part of that. And thank you for sharing your expertise and your story.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited. This is my goal. There's only 100 days left of 2025. My plan for the next year is to really take everything that I'm doing and make it more in person. I think COVID really made everybody isolate, and now I'm ready to get back out there, out of the painting clothes, and meet my community and do that. And have you noticed that Richmond has become a real big hub for influencers lately? I don't know if it's just me noticing, but I've seen a lot more online.
Yeah. In some ways we've dove into that space. So we're definitely rubbing shoulders with more and more of these creators, and we're learning that on the fly also, and kind of realizing that ourselves. But I think also the events, we talk, and this is a great place to come full circle, is like the YouTube Creator Collective, this VA is for bloggers thing. None of that stuff existed even just a few years ago, at least not to my knowledge. I would go to networking events and stuff every now and then and different things. But when it comes to creator or content or influencer or blogger related stuff, there's never been a lot going on. And it is actually really cool and refreshing to see some of that going on here. Yeah,
it's definitely happening. And I think that some of the communities that I'm seeing more pop up are kind of mom-based or women-based, but that's not, just for us. That the VA for bloggers is for everybody to get together and meet other creatives. And you having the studio here is going to be a great opportunity for them to come in and check it out and really take their business to the next level, because I think some of social media is changing where having these valuable conversations between people is going to be more of a prevalent thing than kind of that just individual online social media thing. I think people want to see connection. They want to see community.
This podcast was recorded at Vera House Studios in Richmond, Virginia, and produced by Perri Young and Myke Metzger.